live show of 410 Hats. Well, we did try it last Saturday, but that was an utter fail. So, hey, we're back this time. So, we're here to discuss the awkward topics, to think outside the box and look at things from around the world from every angle. We want to inform as well as entertain you. So, let me introduce the 410 Hats. To my left is True Seeker. To my bottom left is the lovely Bambi Secret. And directly below me is Mr. Danger Bob, also known as Bob. And I'm really bad girl, and I'm from Canada. We have different opinions, and occasionally we might agree on a subject. Please feel free to ask us questions in chat, and we will try to answer them to the best of our knowledge. So grab a drink, sit back, and relax. This is 410 Hats. So everyone, interesting week we've had. So why don't we get to the simple questions that we deal with in our everyday life? Is COVID-19 real? Adam,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yes.
Vote yes.
There's definitely a virus out there. Whether it's as deadly as we was led to believe back in January and February is still to be decided, because we are still in the early days. Although we're 8 months into the pandemic now.
Yeah, I
It
think
is still too early.
Yeah, until the pandemic is over, no one really can talk about death rates. We can't have final death rates until it's completely gone and eradicated. So, I think it's really too early to talk about death rates. But yeah, my friends work in hospitals. It's real. They hold the hands of the people that are dying, and I've lost 3 friends to COVID. So it's definitely real.
Do you guys think that the PCR test that we're having to use, if we have to do a test, do you guys think it's accurate? Because personally, I think there's a lot of false positives, but what do you guys think?
I think that early on, the numbers are junk. So probably the first 6 months of the death rates probably aren't going to be useful if you're using them to predict infection or ongoing death rates. I think now they're probably pretty accurate because they've had so many false positives that I just can't see them continuing with bad testing and not just getting hammered.
Yeah. And my no test ever has been 100% accurate. So you're always going to get false positives. You're always going to get false negatives. There's a variety of tests around, and now they're testing sputum tests. But they're doing research on that to see if it is accurate and to try and get a quicker turnaround of tests, because there's big delays. Yeah, tests should be back in 24 hours, but they're taking up to 5 days sometimes. And
Really,
it's not good.
The UK now has run out of tests. They've got such a backlog now because people are what it Matt Hancock said, wasting tests by taking them unnecessarily. If you don't need to be tested, so say a family member's got symptoms, the idea would be to test everyone in the family. Now, it came across as if he's saying just test the person that has the symptoms, everyone else doesn't need a test until they show symptoms.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it came across.
He was pleading for only people that were symptomatic to get tested. So, and the fact that in children, the research that's been done by the ONS, over 60% of children were asymptomatic on the day that they were tested.
Yeah, in Canada here, we're being told by our officials that if you think you have any symptoms of COVID-19, go get tested. We have sufficient tests here to test everyone. I think that's the same case in the U.S. What do you think, Danger Bob?
Say the question again.
Are there
replying to Ann in the chat.
Are there sufficient tests in the United States, the PCR test, for everyone if they want to test?
There are now. There weren't early on. I heard discussions, people saying, "Oh, there are plenty of tests," but nobody took my challenge up to just go get tested. So, and we were hearing about false positives and people who would get in line to take the test and then choose not to wait and then come back, and then they would get positive test results even though they never went through the test, that kind of stuff. So I would think that I think we're okay now. So
okay, so we all sort of agree that COVID-19 is real and that we should get tests, and whether depending on our governments and depending on our countries, there are tests available or plenty or not. Do we believe that the numbers that different governments are showing us, and we're looking at the websites that are producing the numbers throughout the world, do we believe that governments are all telling us the truth when it comes to their numbers of COVID-19 cases? Or do we believe that they're fudging the numbers, or has it become political for a lot of countries?
A lot of countries now it's political. And say they've fudged the numbers from day one. I mean, the key selling point for the majority of the world was China had built a 1,000-bed hospital in 10 days. And people were dropping dead in the street. That's what we were seeing coming out of China. Yeah. And that sort of like steered the world in the direction it went in. China, as far as I know, is the only one where people have dropped dead in the street from COVID.
Yeah, I think my only thoughts, and it could be wrong, is that hospitals were overwhelmed and people couldn't get admitted to hospital. They couldn't get tested. So were they so sick that they needed admitting, but then were being sent away, and that they were so ill they collapsed in the street?
Well, Danger Bob, you and I've discussed that before, where we believe, or we've discussed it, to consider the possibility that China was using it to manipulate their own people or to manipulate other countries initially, with people dropping in the streets because the way they fell down, it was far from natural if you're going to collapse and die.
Yeah. I think that I don't think that China was using it to manipulate their own people, because I think the sources were legitimate individuals in China. I think that there's, China is still largely a developing country. I think nutrition and the need to go to work to get money to pay the bills is there's a lot of pressure there. They were probably working sick, right up to the point where they collapse.
Yeah, that's feasible.
There's probably nutrition issues as well.
But either way, do we actually believe the numbers that China gave us when it comes to the amount of casualties they had or the people that were infected? I mean, they have the largest population in the world
well, we know that
right at the moment by 1 million people, or 1 million people. And for some odd reason, India is having a terrible time of it, and China has numbers that are less than most countries. So what are we not seeing, and what's being hidden from us?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's so much being hidden or just that they were completely overwhelmed and many people died at home, so didn't get tested, so then weren't counted in the figures.
But do we currently believe that they're saying, oh, we only have 14 cases today or 40 cases? Do we believe those numbers when every country in the world is still struggling with it? And a lot of countries, for all of us, except for maybe you, Danger Bob, down there in the US, we're starting our second wave now. So
Yeah.
do we believe what China has told us? Can they keep control of all these cases when they have famine and flooding and everything else going on? Now explosions in China.
Oh,
It's really
China's full
hard.
of bullshit.
Well,
I was
just,
trying to be polite.
just for
I
the
was
sake
trying
of,
to say it's hard to know what to believe.
yeah, just for the sake of contrariness, I'm going to say that President Xi is a genius who has conquered COVID single-handedly through his tiger powers, his tiger blood and Adonis DNA.
Yeah, gonna say should I have just said that because they don't like criticism, do they?
Not like that.
I do apologise.
Yeah.
I sincerely apologise to the entire nation of China. It is
I
not
think-
your fault. It is your
The
government's
secret
fault.
ingredient was honey gathered by Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, gonna say I realised what I said after I said it. So yeah, I apologise.
That ought to get us ghosted.
Get shut down and we just started. So anyway, so I ended up with an ethical question today, and maybe I want to ask you guys how you would feel. I believe now that the cases are rising here in Canada, that we all get to make an individual decision for all of us individually, what we're willing to tolerate when it comes to the people that we want to be around. We're told, oh, only this amount of people, and it varies per country and state. And today, someone that I'm around all the time had, grandchildren over, and their parents are teachers, and I felt very uncomfortable. And I sort of said, okay, I'm distancing myself for 2 weeks. Not that they have COVID symptoms or anything else. It's just that I want to stay as safe as possible. So that was a decision that I made primarily for me. But how would you guys feel in that same situation?
Well, it's a dilemma that I've been considering. With cases on the rise, I was in the shielding category as extremely vulnerable to health problems. That ended on the 1st of August when cases were around about, well, they were under 1,000 a day. Now we're 12th of September, we've had nearly 3,500 today, and there's been no talk of shielding whatsoever. But the rule of 6 comes into force on Monday, so everyone's gone out partying this weekend.
Yeah, that's my fear. And although the government, the police have pleaded with everyone not to party this weekend, they will, because they've done that every weekend. There's so many people happy to break all the rules and risk their health, the health of their family and friends. So, yeah, I'm expecting that everyone's out now with no social distancing, having, a great time.
Well, just before I started the stream, I were outside, and the amount of police sirens that you can hear out tonight, and it's only a small village, but there were a fair few sirens in the background.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Okay, so I have a pet peeve. Do you guys have pet peeves? But my pet peeve is, have you ever seen the people that come out of a shopping mall, bank, getting groceries, take their mask off and drop it right there? That's my pet peeve. And now we're finding out that wildlife is getting entangled in some of these on different areas, So how do you guys feel about people pitching their masks wherever and endangering, well, not just people, but animals now? Bob?
I'm like, well, what do you do about it? I mean, if you get in somebody's business, maybe they'll pick it up, or maybe they'll punch in the face, right? So you don't really want to, bug them, but you don't want to pick that thing up either, because it's a medical waste.
Well, how about the companies that have to go out and pick it up? I mean, that's their job to go out and clean up these parking lots every day.
Are they
Uh,
not doing?
there are bins, certainly in the UK, there are bins outside shop and supermarket doors. So there is no excuse at all to drop your masks on the floor. And even on streets, on housing estates,
People
there's
can't
no
even pick
excuse.
their dog shit up, so they're not going to think twice about dropping a mask.
Just
You want to talk about a pet peeve that's not COVID related? It's dog shit. Everybody dogs. We're all closed in, and they'll wrap it up and leave it on the sidewalk. In plastic things. I mean, well, it's better than stepping in it, but do you think somebody's going to come by a park and pick that up? I mean, they do eventually.
Can I ask you guys over the pond, do you get the dog shit bag trees? So, I mean, we get a lot of these trees in UK that I mean, they must be magic trees because they have these little bags on and they're full of dog shit.
Yeah.
And they're just hanging there from tree. I mean,
Kind of awesome, actually.
I mean, you've taken the time to bend down, pick this pile of shit up, put it in a bag. I'm assuming you've put it in the bag while picking it up. You've not picked it up and then put it in the bag. That's kind of like the wrong way to pick up dog shit, but each to their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've bent down, you've picked it up, you've tied a knot in the bag. You're taking your dog home with you anyway.
Yeah, but they launch it into the tree.
But yeah, into the tree.
Back in the day when I was out there doing landscaping and on a crew, the thing that I hated about dog shit the most was you have a line trimmer and tall grass, and you don't know the dog shit's there, and you hit it, and you get splat.
Yes, we've working in the landscape industry in the past. Many a times I have been sprayed in the face by plenty of dog feces and occasionally human feces, not literally human.
So, guys, has anybody got something that's a pet peeve other than dog poop?
The government.
Well, why don't we take a quick break, okay? And we'll come back in a few minutes, and we got a little bit of comedy thanks to Danger Bob that we all are going to share now.
Well, hello. Aren't you a pretty little thing? The dictionary defines pander as to gratify an immoral need or desire, or a person with such. Sometimes I think they just make up these words for you and I. I'd like to show you what you could have bought with your donations to our channel. Because, to be honest, we're too lazy to send you anything. At the $2 Super Chat level, you could have bought yourself a bag of delicious Fritos. At the $10 level, you could have invested that in a lovely oversized mug. At the $20 level, you could have easily purchased a double-walled mug that keeps hot drinks hot and cold drinks cold. So delicious. At the $100 level, I promise not to open this robe. That's a good investment all around. Just think about it. It's going to be safer for everyone. Thank you for joining us on Pandering. for joining us.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we were talking about pet peeves. Do we have anybody in chat that wants to talk about their pet peeves, or has anybody here got a pet peeve? Bob, two speaker.
Well, it takes the chat, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the chat.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Lots
questions.
of bins are
there.
labelled "Do not use for PPE." Yeah, thank you, Anne. But yeah, well, I'm not really seeing any bins around, so yeah, I'm gonna say that's a pet peeve. If this virus is that dangerous, why is there not biohazard bins everywhere?
Yeah, there's not even my local hospital by the outpatient department. There's just a normal bin that says dispose of your masks in here. So it's not a biohazard bin, just a normal black bins. But Anne has got a few questions.
Okay.
So
Fire
the
away.
first is, what's going on in Germany? The news says that they have temporarily banned the harvest.
They've temporarily banned what?
The harvest. But I just saw that there was swine flu, and that is why they'd had to stop the harvest. That's what I've
Well,
seen.
We know that China originally had a case of swine flu and also the Black Plague. The thing is, if swine flu has gotten to Germany already, that would mean, possible pandemic number 2. Saying that with the normal cold this year, swine flu and COVID-19, it's time to go hide under a rock. I think is about going to be the safest place. I haven't looked at today's comments for Germany. I know that Ice Age Farmer just did something today regarding Germany. So, maybe we need to take a look there. I can look at that when we go to our next break, and so can everyone else.
Well, we all know Bill Gates told us that the second pandemic everyone would pay attention. So, is this the start of that?
You'd almost wonder.
Is swine flu that bad? I'm not. I know it was in the papers, but it didn't catch the attention the way COVID did. Is it just being sick, or is it a high fatality rate, or what are the details on swine?
I know that we had it a few years ago, and since I'm not a health professional, I don't know a whole lot about it. But
I don't know if this is the same kind of swine flu or different. So I can't.
Do know they had a lot of problem with swine flu in the Middle East, and Germany imports a lot of Turkish migrant workers, so it could be coming up through that route. But that is a speculation based on almost zero facts and a lot of rumors, a lot of what you should expect here on this channel. I'm not a professional. I'm not a gifted amateur. I'm kind of a retard.
We don't want you to believe what we say. We want you to research what we say.
Yeah, we want you to look around and see what we see. So we're going to point you in directions that other people have YouTube channels that have important information, like Ice Age Farmer. He's one of them.
Actually, yeah. Who are our go-to conspiracy channels? That's a good question.
Ooh, well, I can give you mine.
Yeah, show it. Yeah, you.
Okay, I'm going to.
Your favorites?
My go-to are. I have to say that every morning, I have to watch. When you want things in front of you, Suspicious Observers. I really like when he talks about the sun and how it's affecting our climate right at the moment. I like China Uncensored just for a giggle. Ice Age Farmer. Dutch Sense, only because he's up on the earthquakes and what's happening around the world in regards to that. Crossroads with Joshua Phillip. I also enjoy City Prepping. The guy's unbelievable. If you want to learn a little bit more on finance, there's Adapt 2030 and also Peak Prosperity. And also, I love The Urban Farmer with Curtis Stone. That guy is fabulous, and he will tell you what your property needs or doesn't need to grow a really good crop.
They're not all conspiracy theorists, though, are they?
No, but they are and they're not, because a lot of people would take the research that they're doing and say that, oh, well, you know, suspicious observers, that's conspiracy theory. The sun's not going to really go into grand solar minimum. Oh, well, okay. You know, so it's global warming. No, it's not global warming, but that's where you have the conspiracy theory, right?
But Dutch sense is conspiracy, right? I watch his too, but I'm like, you know, I don't know how much of this to believe. So, but
Yeah.
he's entertainment. So,
Yeah, he gets hysterical. Yeah, he thinks the government's watching him. Yeah.
yeah, Russia, how they've been causing earthquakes since '85 or something like that.
But they are watching us. They're reading our minds. You must protect yourself.
I do like Jenna.
I ain't having no alien probe my backside.
I do like Christian at Ice Age Farmer. I think he does an excellent job of reporting what's going on in the world. Unfortunately, he's only reading what he's getting from the news outlets to a large degree. So some of the time the news outlets have got it wrong and then he reports it wrong, and I feel sorry for him when that happens. But he makes a lot of logical sense. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that are saying that they're going to chip us with the vaccine, that they're going to monitor us. I think they already are monitoring us, because that's, you know, when they're trying to figure out where we're going, who we're seeing for COVID cases.
Yeah, they don't need to chip us. They've already chipped us.
Yeah, you're all very voluntarily carrying it everywhere.
I say we volunteered.
Yeah, so the track and trace. The end of the month it starts in England.
So tell us about the track and trace.
Well,
Is that the
there'll be an app on our phone. I'm
crap app.
presuming that we have to install the app, but we don't know too much about it other than it's announced by the end of this month. The NHS, government.
We have an app here in Canada, but we have the right to turn it on or turn it off. So we're not obligated to have to turn it on. So I can say I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful I'm a Canadian.
Well, yeah, if you go into your settings in your phone, there is already a COVID exposure message on there. I can't remember exactly where it is. But yeah, there is a message on there. And you've got to connect your Bluetooth, I think it is, and it was designed so that if you came in proximity with a COVID positive, you got to beep, 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 run from the area. Yeah.
Your Bluetooth and your location needs to be on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If we could figure out a way to turn that into a game, that people, because when people were playing around Pokemon and getting car accidents because they're not paying attention to driving, you know, escape the COVID patient. I think people would play that.
Yeah,
it sounds like a good exercise app. So I used to have one called Zombies Run.
Yeah,
you have zombies flash up in area and you got to outrun them.
Yeah, instead of a Pokemon, you can have a guy who's coughing that shows up on your phone.
Sneeze, run faster.
That would be awesome.
Patent pending. Gonna say we've recorded it. Our idea now. We're gonna say it's intellectual property of the group.
Yes.
Mr. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, talking to you. Doggo's doing our idea.
But no matter what I hear out there, it still is true. Grow a garden. We don't know if we're going to have a food supply come winter time. I think it's really important that we stock up and prepare, especially if we're going into stage 2, which they claim is going to be worse. I mean, stage 2, curve number 2, which is supposed to be worse than the first part of the coronavirus. And we're going to go into flu season at the same time, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really matter what theory you believe. I still think it's really responsible for everyone to grow their own food. I mean, you eat healthier regardless. What's the worst case scenario of that? Oh, I ate better. Yay, live longer.
And you've saved yourself some money as well.
Well, yeah, how difficult is it to grow a few potatoes?
Exactly.
Even
carrots,
I've managed it. Yeah.
I mean, Bobby grew a really impressive 6-foot-tall dandelion.
Is that
Did everyone see my 6-foot-tall dandelion?
Yes,
I'm sure you did.
Very edible. So you could have eaten it.
Do we want to share it with our crowd of 0 viewers?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All 4 of us watching.
Yep. Somehow we have Anne, so that 4 can't be right. It has to be at least 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. As long as we have Anne, we've got a show.
We've got Anne. Anne is the best. And one of these days we'll have Anne on the show.
Go, Anne. No, don't go, Anne. Don't go.
Anne says the slugs beat her to it.
I thought about growing potatoes, but, how many potatoes do I really eat?
Yeah,
Could
but
I eat 3 months of potatoes?
They store all the potatoes.
I think you'd rather just raise a steer for a few months and eat it.
I got that second ribeye sitting out there waiting for the end of the stream.
So do you eat potato or pasta or rice with your meat?
That's like an insult to the meat, isn't it?
Well, it's a starch, right? So I have just a big sandwich bun that I throw it on. So, potatoes like a second starch. I don't need that. I don't need the first starch or the steak for that matter. So.
Like a veg.
But I wanted.
Yeah, because nobody can possibly get this joke. I cooked a couple of steaks right before this stream, and I'm eating one while we're preparing real quick, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
So I got that other one sitting there, just waiting for Daddy.
And I eat steak, but or a cob, depending on where you come from.
A cob?
Cake.
A cob. Or it may even be called a roll.
Tea cake, a bap.
I think they're called outdoor rolls, those sandwich roll buns.
An English muffin.
An English muffin. I could put on an English muffin and just eat around because all the steak in it.
A muffin is different.
Yeah.
The muffin man.
So
Sometimes it's called a soft roll, but it's not a roll because it's round.
Don't rounds roll? What?
Well, they probably do. I've never tried rolling one myself, but
hey, that's an idea for a show. The world rolling competition.
Roll a cob.
It's tea cake.
Muffin is cake, says Anne.
Really?
Is an English muffin? A muffin is kind of like a cake with no frosting. Here.
Yeah, it doesn't taste a cake because you normally have like egg and avocado or smoked salmon on your muffin. Yeah, it's a breakfast.
She's saying blueberry muffins. Obviously, we're going to have to put this to an empirical test.
Wow.
I will go over and grab a blueberry muffin, and we will dissect it, and I will report on how tasty it is and whether or not it tastes like avocado.
Oh,
Well, a blueberry muffin. If we're talking
I've
sweet
got a
muffins,
bun that I made earlier.
blueberry muffin's a cake. But a normal muffin is not a cake.
I did some
Isn't a
baking.
blueberry muffin a cake? I mean, a
Yeah.
blueberry muffin is a normal muffin.
It's a muffin.
Those,
No,
those,
you
those-
get muffins. You
Yeah,
get
those-
muffins. They're similar to crumpets.
those crazy whole wheat muffins came in with the healthy people.
Yeah, like take a whole wheat muffin, throw some blueberries in it, and now it's a blueberry whole wheat muffin.
Yeah, it's in the crumpet aisle.
Yeah, in Canada, I think in the US, a muffin is a muffin, no matter what we throw at it. And it doesn't go into the crumpet aisle.
Unless it's just a bread aisle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, bread, crumpets, muffins.
Yeah,
Um,
cruffins. Yeah, English muffins,
Welsh
crumpets.
cakes, I think, aren't they? In
What are
with the crumpets.
What are the Australian things called? They have an Australian English muffin sort of thing. Do they have that up in Canada? I don't know.
An Australian English muffin.
Yeah, it's sort of the Australian counterpart to English muffin.
What do they look like?
You know,
Upside down.
they look kind of like an English muffin, except that they're not all. It's not air bubbles in the middle.
No?
Hmm.
So then they're just a muffin.
No, it's short like an English muffin. Inquiring minds must know these important things if we're going to get to the truth about COVID-19.
Yeah,
We have
You
to
know-
know what an Australian muffin is. An Australian English muffin.
Meat pies,
An
lab muffin.
Australian English muffin.
So
For
she
sale in
took her
Canada.
muffin to Australia, but she was from
No.
England.
Now I'm interested in Australian meat pies. That looks like a good recipe. I'm going to check
Probably
that out.
kangaroo.
Yeah.
Probably kangaroo. Australian meat pies.
Oh,
Made
I'm
only-
just reading Anne's last comment. I don't even think I can read it out.
A muffin top is what
Hmm,
And she's talking about muffins, is she?
absolutely. There's a show called 30 Rock in the U.S. where they had a gal, she's singing about her muffin top. And it was embarrassing. When we're no longer live, I'll look it up for you. You know, you want this muffin top? You know, that kind of thing. It was,
Too funny. So later on tonight, guess what I'm going to be up to, guys?
you're
making
going to...
Cannabis infused chocolate.
Oh, well, that's what my my bun is.
Oh, now are we allowed to say that on the live stream?
Yeah, of course we are.
I'm in Canada, so
I
It,
don't know.
it's an open discussion. We should be able to get away with pretty much as long as we balance the shit out.
Yeah.
Cannabis isn't a conspiracy.
yeah.
No, but it might be forbidden by YouTube.
No, because I have marked it down as not for
There's lots
children.
of baking shows with it here on YouTube. Lots of them.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
By cannabis, she means porridge.
Don't worry, it's only me they're gonna come after.
Yeah. No, what I do is I infuse my coconut butter, and then I use it and pour it into my melted semi-sweet chocolate dark, and then I pour it into my molds, and then it's infused. So you know, for pain, it's a wonderful thing. And Bambi Secret thinks that's conspiracy.
No, it's illegal. Where we
It's illegal in the UK.
It's debatable.
I thought it wasn't illegal in the UK. You can get it by prescription, right?
Yeah, in very extreme cases, yeah, they
Yeah.
are they're not just giving it away. You have to be like really severely ill and
I find that interesting, considering our countries are so close, the UK and Canada. That totally legal throughout all of Canada now, and yet the UK hasn't caught on to
Yeah.
the tax
People,
benefits of sucking that
people that-
money out of people.
people that need it for severe pain and to stop seizures, they really struggle to get it. That's
Wow.
why.
And it's a hell of a lot more beneficial than the pharmaceutical crap that they're trying to just push on people. It's they're not creating cures, they're creating clients.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There is.
I would rather have a medicine that is natural and actually benefits the body than something that concocted with so many different chemicals to try and mask
Talking
the
about
pain.
chemicals, what do you think is in these vaccines? Really? Like the one that's you've got over there at Oxford, right? In the UK, it's simian based, I think, which means it's cells from the liver of dead monkeys.
Yeah, monkey.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Like I don't know if I really want to stick that in my body.
I think most people don't, but we're all kind of curious to see how it turns out.
Flu
I mean,
jab.
if the people that get the vaccines all of a sudden sprout a third head or an extra appendage, or if they turn green, or
Yeah, then you can make your choice, because a third hand could come in really handy.
just depends where it is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be really handy. I can scratch my back easily now.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
None of us were thinking that. I just went to a nice, safe place.
Yeah, the Oxford University vaccine trial is with AstraZeneca, and it's to resume after it was paused after a volunteer fell ill.
Yeah, and they're using a simian adenovirus vector. So when I looked that up, it told me that the cells were coming from the liver of dead monkeys. Yummy.
It would be nice to talk to somebody, one of the researchers that's researching getting the vaccine together.
Yeah, it would be, but none of them want to talk to us.
And even the ones that do want to tell the truth and get out there, they get silenced very quickly, and they end up losing the jobs. Their entire career's gone down pan just because they spoke out.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the future of the vaccines, no matter what vaccines coming out now, I think thanks to COVID-19, a lot of people have woken up and taken a look at what's actually going on, whether it's vaccines or political moves within our countries. We're starting to realize that we need to have a bigger voice because everything's been taken out of the equation. We're not allowed to stand up for rights of anything anymore. We have politicians going, "Oh, hey, I'm here for you. I'm your politician," but they speak for themselves. They don't speak for us anymore. And I think this is something we need to make changes for, whether you're in the UK, the United States, or here in Canada. If we don't start telling our politicians what we need them to do for us, they're going to continue making the decisions without our opinions. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that here in the U.S., a lot of governors are kind of making the decision. The logic is weird, so I'm not. So this kind of falls as a conspiracy theory. They're holding lockdowns in like California, for example, and it's bad enough that people are fleeing the states in noticeable numbers, moving elsewhere. I think the theory of the governor was if we can hold the lockdown through the election, we can blame it all on President Trump. But I mean, I don't know how you blame this on Trump. The only thing you can fault is the lockdown, which falls back on the Democratic governors. So I'm not sure how they think that's going to work.
Lockdown, yay or nay? Do
Yea
you,
or nay, in what sense? Do we believe in
do you
lockdown?
agree that a lockdown was and still is in some sense necessary? Or should we have gone with Sweden's approach and gone, yeah, just carry on as normal?
Yeah.
That's a personal decision. Like, that I was discussing earlier. Do we really want to wish that for some children to have their grandparents get sick? Do we really want to make them feel that they're at fault for that? Because some parents would do that to their kids. I think it's a personal decision. I don't think the government should be allowed to tell us if we should be locked down or we should be free. It's a tricky little mess, and I don't think anybody's got that right. I think having a little bit of control is good. Having a lot of control is bad.
I think they should base it. I think they should base it on the cases per million. That way, it's not a moral judgment or a trample on your rights judgment. It's just a math judgment. That way, everybody can skate away without having to feel bad about it.
Certainly, I think in the UK, the lockdown was definitely needed. Without a lockdown, there'd have been a lot more people catch COVID and a lot more people die. And then they eased the lockdown as the numbers were dropping. And now people have been out and about partying. And now the children have only been back at school just over a week. And there's lots of schools that are having to send staff and children home to self-isolate and get tested. And the cases are rising again. So now gives an example of what it's like without a proper lockdown. So we have a small amount of areas that have local lockdowns, but in that sense, all they are doing is saying you can't go and meet other family and friends at their home. You can't invite them to your home or your back gardens, but you can still go to the pub and restaurant and shops, spend your money. You can still go to work.
As long as you're spending money, you can go to it, but as long as you're not in groups of more than 6. But
yeah,
you're not spending money at home. You're not.
On Tuesday, that's when the Birmingham and Solihull and Sandwell lockdown comes into play, and they can't meet in a group of 6. They can only stay within their own household or support bubble. So they can't go to each other's back gardens then, and they can't go in each other's homes, but they can still go to the pub because it's thought that the transmission is happening in homes and back gardens and then not happening in pubs, restaurants, schools, or the workplace. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah,
that's because magic is real.
Yeah, that's how viruses work. Didn't you know that?
Magic is here.
So,
well, in defense of pubs, I usually am drinking antiseptic.
So not that many people are going to pubs and restaurants. They went with the Eat Out to Help Out the Monday to Wednesday, but a lot of people have been keeping away from pubs and restaurants because they didn't think it was safe. But now if that's the only way that they can meet up with their family, more people will go to pubs and restaurants. So I personally am anticipating a rise in cases caused by people going to pubs, restaurants and cafes. I hope I'm proved wrong.
This may sound a little crazy, but I'm still in their opinion you do what's right for you. So in other words, let your family know. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, and you're out there hanging out with 50 people at a party, let them know so they can make a decision to say, hey, stay away from me. Okay?
Yeah.
And if we all could make the individual decision, let the young people, get it if that's what they really want. And, then we might have some form of herd immunity and then we wouldn't have to worry about it. But how do you trust everyone to tell you the truth? Then there's the other problem, right?
Well, yeah, because the track and trace, they're only being able to contact about 60-70% of people. People aren't answering the phones or haven't given the right details.
Oh yeah, how many
So-
Mickey Mouses do you think went to the pub? There'll have been
Well,
loads of
wait.
Mickey Mouse went to the pub, signed his name into his little register. For data protection, we'll keep it in this little book and just throw it on behind bar.
Yeah, and in 21 days, if no one's tested positive, they'll then destroy that book.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's go for another comedy break with Danger Bob, and we'll be back in a few minutes to finish off this segment of Fortune Hacks.
So actually, do we want to break from? Wait. Don't leave. Don't go to another channel. We need to talk. You've been distant. You don't sing me love songs. You don't bring me flowers. When I drop off a video at the end of the day, you don't even comment anymore. I need to know if you like me or dislike me. And I can't tell if you don't press the thumbs. You had me at hello. And if you dislike me, I'm willing to change, baby. I'll do counseling. You make me want to be a better YouTuber. It's not just you. I mean, I have looked at other channels and, I've maybe watched a video or two, but they were just informational, baby. I didn't like them the way I like you. I just don't want to see you ending up in some seedy internet cafe, watching YouTube videos over and over again, liking them, subscribing to their channels. They just want you for your body. We're trying to grow a YouTube family, and that doesn't work without you. Would you really put your little baby YouTube channel to shame by making them grow up in a broken home because you've left? How could you? Please, watch, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching another episode of Pandering.
Welcome back, everyone, to Four Tin Hats. Right now, there's only three of us because Danger Bob is off devouring a steak and probably having a cigar to go along with it. Anyways, Anne had asked a question earlier about the African swine fever and its effects in Germany. Germany has come out with a response that is saying that they're banning all hunting, agriculture, and even forestry in the country until this is eradicated. Now, the African swine fever seems to only affect hogs, but it's very, very, very contagious. Last year, 1 in 4 hogs around the world was destroyed because of the African swine fever. It does not affect humans. So that is a good thing. So it's not something that's going to hurt us, but having Germany, who is growing some of the majority of the food, I guess, right now for Europe, that's not a good thing if they're not taking off their crops. I mean, it's going to still come down to, is the world all going to be facing famine?
Well, it's not just that. If it's affecting the forestry industry, it's affecting the timber industry, which then's affecting the building industry. It's going to have a massive knock-on effect. It's just going to ripple out. Because if they're halting all these different sectors, all them business sectors, it then affects that business that's... Oh, shit.
I'm just thinking that, you know, if you watch Christian on the Ice Age Farmer, I mean, if you look at how many factories that have burnt down in the UK, food production, also now we have Germany, we have problems with China's food problems because they're either flooded out or they have drought there and they've got serious issues. You got North Korea that has ordered their dogs to be slaughtered. So there goes your family pet. And we take a look at what's happening with COVID-19 and farms being shut down in Canada and the US. It's something that's not going to, you know, go very well for anyone. Again, it always still comes back to we have to grow our own food. So that is an important thing.
Danger Bob back in the house.
Danger Bob is in the house.
Woohoo! Everybody, wave your hands in the air.
So we were just, I was just talking to everyone about the African swine fever and that it doesn't affect humans, but last year they killed 1 in 4 hogs to try to eradicate it from the world. So, and also Anne had a question about the Four Gorges Dam. It's still standing. As long as they don't get any more typhoons over there, I think, you know, they're the worst they've gotten through. Will they have to reconstruct that dam? The engineers say it's not safe. So who knows? China might have a different conclusion to what they're going to do there. What do you think, Bob?
I think, isn't it 3 gorges or is it 4 gorges?
Oh, I'm on 14 Pats with 3, so it's 3 Gorges Dam.
Yeah, that's the only thing everything else, I think you're dead on there. You know, I was outside thinking about insults. You know, so you do an insult, right? And you know, in the old days, it would be, you know, an ethnic insult or a religious insult or something where you're offending a whole group of people you don't want to offend because they don't have it coming. You're just trying to insult the guy who's in your face. So we got a couple people from the UK here. You guys invented English. What's the insult? All I've come up with so far is fart smuggler, and it's not working for me.
Turd burglar.
Turd burglar. No, it's gotta be an insult like, you know, like reprobate, except, you know, better. Because, you know, most
That
of
we
my friends
want
are
to use
reprobates.
against you?
No, just, you know, when you're, you know, when you, well, you know,
It's not a matter. It's not a matter of insulting them. I think I told you this before. I get these phone calls from telemarketers. Favorite thing that I say to them is, "Have you found Jesus? Jesus in your life? Can I pray with you right now? Can I bring you to God?"
What would you do if they say, yeah, they have found Jesus?
then then I'll congratulate them for finding Jesus. But usually when I'm getting phone calls from telemarketers that are trying to scam me, they haven't found Jesus.
So,
And if somebody's being like a DICK, what do you call them? Do we need to make up a word?
A new
Isn't it
word
important
that is
to-
racially important for anyone.
No. You can't offend other people because you're really only trying to offend the person you're talking to.
well, gonna say it's just your normal insults. It's like you knobhead.
You're knobbed. What's that?
You're a knobhead.
You're a knobbed. Maybe this is their word. What is it? What does it mean?
Yeah.
You're a dickhead.
It's a
You're a knobhead.
Knobhead.
I've
Okay.
got an adult colouring book with some phrases in.
Can we use them on YouTube? If they're English enough that we don't understand them, then you probably can.
Well, I'm not sure.
Cockwomble.
Cockwomble.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would know I was insulting them or not. I think that would be a question and answer period after that.
Then make up a word that they don't know, so they go, what?
Well,
What did you say?
Yeah.
Haven't you heard some of the old stuff that our grandparents used to come up with?
Horse feathers?
Knickernanger.
Really?
My God,
flabbergasted.
they didn't swear.
Flabbergasted.
Yeah, they didn't really swear much.
No, they didn't swear, but they had really unique words for things. So maybe we need to look at.
That confounded cat keeps getting under my feet.
Let's go look up old-timey insults. I bet Google gives us something.
Shakespearean
They
insults.
give us old time insults.
Old-timey insults. 12 hilarious Italian insults you wish you knew sooner.
Just bear with me a minute.
17 Russian swear words. We could swear in Russian. That would be safe.
No, wouldn't be.
Well, I mean, only
Especially
Russian.
if we ran into Chekhov, you know.
But I think Russians, I think Russians would be kind of, pleased that we were adopting their swear words. I wonder if I could pronounce any of these though.
Well, maybe we just need to not offend anyone and just be kind. Because a lot of things are cancelled in 2020, aren't they? But
2020 is cancelled. I'm going to say we're going to get to New Year's Eve, and it's going to hit midnight, and it's going to go back to 2020, and we get to
Yeah.
Oh, no,
start
we're gonna
again.
live for the rest of our life, we're already in hell.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God.
in a hell loop. We've already died. We died in 2012.
A lot is cancelled, but kindness isn't cancelled. So we could just maybe not insult anyone. Just
Yeah,
share the
yeah,
love.
but
I don't think that's likely.
how
I
would you
think
not how would you not insult a snowflake? Because everyone's offended by something.
Yeah,
You're not
I mean,
wearing you're not wearing a
dog-
mask.
I'm
It
offended
offends
by
someone.
a pre-Civil War use of a period for white supremacists, which is called a snowflake.
And a dog pee on the snow is probably offensive to the snow.
For the flake. Okay, I think maybe we should put all insults behind us.
I think you would be the last person to succeed at that.
I said try,
An American, a Canadian, and 2 Brits joined a Zoom call and started chatting shit on the internet, having a laugh while people watch. Nothing crazy about that at all.
No, calm down.
And no, we're not going to offend anyone ever again.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say
I can't say that and get away with it.
I think I made the biggest insult earlier on in the show, didn't I?
Yeah, I
I'm
think so.
gonna say I kind of offended just a little bit. Would you? I did sincerely apologise for.
You
Oh, don't forget
did
about the
insult
locusts
again when you
and-
went a little bit.
Ange just mentioned about the locusts.
Yeah, I haven't heard very much lately about the locusts. Last time I heard from it, I mean, China got hit really bad with it, and they were coming up
In
from
a
South
frying pan
America,
now.
and they were in Mexico, but I haven't heard anything since then. But with the drop in the temperatures, when we got that cold snap that came into the U.S., that might have pushed them back, which would have been good for the U.S. farmers if everything didn't freeze. Ooh,
What's WB?
welcome back.
Oh, okay. I'm old. I'm
Yeah.
old.
We know this. We can tell.
I remember when TVs weighed 60 pounds. It took two of us to move one.
Well, maybe we need an abbreviation session.
WTF?
Yes.
I got
Yeah.
that one.
Everybody's got that one.
Do
So
you
what are
guys-
you drinking now, Bob? Are you drinking water, or have you mixed yourself a drink?
I'm drinking only the purest water from the rivers of the
Babylon.
Milwaukee sewage stream. Or, I don't know, just water.
I was waiting for you to come out here. I am drinking the purest vodka.
What are you drinking, Bambi Secret?
I have the finest Dartmouth gin with the Fever Tree aromatic tonic and ice cube and frozen strawberries.
And you, Adam? Water?
I'm drinking the finest coffee in the house.
And I'm drinking Canadian bottled water.
Oh, and it's
Wow.
20 past midnight UK
Wow.
time, so I'll need to be drinking coffee to stay awake.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Everyone out there in the
Ching
world.
ching.
Cheers to you, friends. Cheers to Anne in the chat.
Yeah, and
We're all
and
okay.
sporting a nice blue colour with a little spanner at the end.
Which
Oh, yeah.
maybe our Disney princess will show up for our next chat. I don't know what happened to her.
Oh,
Since we only have a couple friends. Really disappointing.
We don't have any friends.
well, we've now got 7 likes, so we've exceeded the as of Monday, it'll have exceeded the UK group limit. You can only have 6.
6 likes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say any more than that, we're breaking the law.
We're rebels.
But no, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to be able to see that there's some crazy shit going on in the world right now.
Yeah, there is.
There's a bigger agenda going on.
You think there's really an agenda? Because this seems pretty unorganized.
Yeah, this isn't part of the agenda. I think they got lucky with this.
Yeah.
I think they've been playing off of this. They've been using this to shadow what's really going on.
Like Brexit.
Exactly.
And yeah, I'm like, what kind of control could they be looking to gain?
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
I
That's
No
when
idea.
Tim Hat comes on, right?
It's all about the money, money, money.
yeah, I mean,
always
but
about
money,
money.
money, money, money. So
Yeah. Don't you think the richest people in the world already have enough money? Like, why would they want any more money?
Well, yeah, Mr. Amazon, he could like solve the entire world poverty situation and still have shitloads of money left in bank. But
yeah, I don't think you can solve poverty with money. I think poverty is a lifestyle. People who are gonna be poor. If you look at lotto winners, right? They get tons of money, and then 5 years later, they're broke again.
oh yeah, they always blow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that education maybe, or
Well, yeah, 'cause I mean, I'm skint. I'm brassic, and
I
the
actually, the best thing Jeff Bezos could do to solve my poverty is to shut Amazon down because I'm spending a fortune on it.
yeah, same here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what my suggestion for Canada was, because I live in an area that has got different mixed incomes, is that it would never work, but you know, I always thought that instead of the government throwing money at social programs, wouldn't it be nice if, you know, they could say that out of every low income house, and make that low income be single mothers, you know, that have children, that one of them gets to go to college or university for free. Like one gets to go for free. Why not? And that would support a family and carry on that legacy, hopefully. I think that would be something worthwhile, but will it work? I don't think so, but it's always been a thought.
As has California has free community college, right? I wonder how well that's worked. I don't know if it hasn't worked or if it has worked, or you know, but I know that they have a free extended education there.
You know, with these lockdowns though in the UK, there was so many children that had got no access to computers, or someone even got the internet packages at home, or say there was a family with 4 children that were sharing one phone to try and access the internet to do their homework. It's just, you know, not every household's got a computer or even a tablet.
And not a lot of parents could really be asked as well. Or the kids could be asked, and the parents couldn't be asked, enforcing them to do this homeschooling. I mean, schooling's changed compared to how it was when we went to school.
Yeah, it has.
Indeed. But yeah, if we do end up in a full lockdown again, like further on into the winter, if these local lockdowns don't control the virus, then I understand that the Education Secretary, Mr. Williamson, is supposed to make sure that every child has got access to the internet to be able to do their online learning and learning from home. But how that's going to work?
Does that mean that they're going to roll out free broadband for everyone then?
Well,
I'm sure a political party came up with that idea in December, just before the election, and everyone was like, "No, we can't do that. It'll bankrupt the country."
Mm-hmm.
Now they can't really be saying that now and rolling something out that is going to cost millions. When there's going to be so much debt, our children, our grandchildren are going to be paying this off for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking at the current Canadian debt in the billions right at the moment for everything that we're doing, trying to keep people above board here in Canada that have lost their jobs to COVID. A lot of them being in the food industry, for restaurants, hospitality, hotels. So the thing is, we're throwing billions of dollars out there, and could it not be put in a different place? Is that the only solution that there is? Like, I mean, was there even a think tank for that one in Canada? I don't know. I think that we need a change of government here, and maybe that'll make some differences. And what do you think about what's going to happen with the U.S. election there, Danger Bob?
I think that they're going to hold it just like normal. I don't think there's some modifications to mail-in voting that the Democrats have been wanting. I don't think they're going to get those modifications because mail-in voting really is where most of the voter fraud comes from. You know, dead people voting, people who never got their ballot voting, you know, that kind of thing.
Wow.
And they want to expand that, you know, mail-in voting, and it's fraud. I mean, there's reasons for mail-in voting, but it's also a huge source of fraud. So I don't think they're going to get any rule changes. So.
Do you think that there's going to be a majority win in the U.S. between the Republicans and the Democrats? Or do you think it's going to be very close?
I think it's going to be a Okay, so now this politics. This is where we lose half our viewers, right? Who don't agree with whatever
Yeah.
we say, right? But
One and a
so
half.
I was at Target today, right? Buying some stuff, and the gal behind me, young black gal, she's wearing a MAGA hat and a T-shirt that says "Inslee is not required" or something like that. Jay Inslee is our governor, who's a Democrat, so she's full-on outspoken Republican, right?
Yeah.
And this is from somebody who, you know, if I hadn't seen that, I would naturally assume would be a Democratic voter. So I think that there's probably going to be a pretty solid Republican win, at least at the federal level.
So you think Trump will stay in office? Then?
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be by a pretty large margin.
Well, I got money on it. I mean, it's only $20, but I want my $20.
Is that Mad Lads or where there's a gambling site? Because I thought about putting some money on, but I can't remember what the site was called. Anyway.
Yeah, I put money on a vote, definitely. If you know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very solid win. A lot of states, popular vote too. So,
my $20 is only with my best friends, so that's the extent of my gambling.
But for those of you who disagree, and for those of you who agree, I totally agree with whatever you said because, you know, I don't care to alienate people over this.
You're right.
So,
yeah, we're just analyzing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
We're just throwing some ideas around, having a discussion
Okay.
over a drink.
We've covered politics. Now on to religion.
No, not religion.
Let's see if we can get ourselves down to. We've only got like one viewer, so we can get ourselves down to
What's
a
that?
quarter of a viewer.
What? So we're dropping out as
We
souls.
might put Anne to sleep, so maybe we shouldn't talk religion.
Yeah.
We
Well,
have no viewers.
yeah. And Anne is in our chat. I think once we end up our live stream, we do yet one more Zoom so we can read her bedtime story.
Yeah, a private Zoom.
Did you have a bedtime story tonight?
The after show.
Yeah,
I can't read the last one.
Yeah, the after party.
She
Yeah.
made faces at my last bedtime story.
Well, it was
So-
kind of mean.
Well,
Now, Anne's mentioned
fried
about
chicken was worse.
People will be wondering
Gee.
what we're talking about bedtime stories.
You
I
always. You
I
gotta
would
leave 'em on.
clarify, yeah. I once read Ant and Bee and the Doctor over a Zoom to try to make Anne sleepy. And then ever since then, we've made up random bedtime stories. So,
And they're absolutely adorable. So, and since they're not on live, random people can join.
yeah. So,
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll come on for next week's show, and we can do a random bedtime story for everyone at the end.
we're good.
Sure, as long as it's completely random and not published.
It cannot be published. No, we'll have to make it up as we go.
oh my god, we've dropped one. We're down to 2 watching.
Apparently,
Not one of them.
We've been streaming for 84 minutes.
anyways, what do you think, guys? We're done for tonight?
I think that's good for night. It's great for a first session.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it gives you an idea of the type of materials we're going to be talking about. I would like to apologise once again to the great nation of China. Xi Jinping, you are doing a fantastic job.
And guys, if you have any questions after this is over with, put it below in chat, and we'll try to answer your questions to the best of our abilities for next Saturday night. So we'll see you then.
Stay safe. Have a good week.
everybody give way. Bye.
Good night. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.